Hello and welcome to episode 147 of the FPL Hangover podcast, where we raise the bar in order to own all things FPL related. We are coming to you on the 23rd of August, episode 147. Wait a minute, you might say. That was last week. No, it wasn't, because OBS, being a little dickhead, meant we lost last week's episode. So for those of you that were looking forward to it, apologies on our end. But we're back this week and we've got loads to talk about, and here to help me swallow the load that Gameweek 3 has sent our way is my podcast partner in crime, Paddy. How are you getting on, my friend?
I'm getting on good, and I see we've lowered the tone early on this episode, which is fantastic, Ger. Great work.
Yeah, I did second guess that one.
Very, very good, very good. So I'm getting on good. I woke up this morning feeling fine. Got Man United on my mind.
Yeah.
You know, had to get it in there.
Straight in.
Straight
yeah,
in. We've lost the Liverpool listeners.
Yeah, they're off. They've turned off.
Yeah.
That's the thing about weekends like this. I didn't give a flying fuck about FPL after last night. I was just like, oh, there we go. That's all that was the perfect cherry on the cake, you know?
Amazing you said that, because we actually got a wee question about that later on, and we'll have a small discussion on it. But I'm telling you, it's good to be back. Hello to the listeners that are on the podcast, and to the millions and millions watching on YouTube. How are you all?
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. You have to add that bit, Paddy. That's
yeah.
The next level.
I take it they're not mugs. They know that. Like and subscribe. You know.
Yeah, but it's not about that. It's about you have to mention it. I think.
Right. Okay. Like and subscribe to the podcast. Retweet it. Subscribe to the YouTube. Etc. Etc.
Yeah. Perfect.
Better?
Like a true pro.
True pro. Thank you very much. I'll drink to that.
Yeah. What was your weekend like? We talked about we hinted at the United thing, but game week, wise, you would have been pretty happy with a certain midfielder you brought in this week, and it's kind of one of the talking points. Leeds 3, Chelsea 0.
Yeah. Look, what can I say? I'm a trendsetter. I bet you they'll all be bringing him in now. You name it, the big dogs, the General, Abdul, all those Sky Sports pundits, Holly Shan. They'll all be, they saw my Rodrigo move, and they're queuing up to get him. So get him in quick, folks, before the price rise, because he is going up.
Hasn't he already gone up?
Yeah, he's gone up. He's gone up, but he's going to go up again, I think.
maybe.
Yeah.
Prices have been kind of mad this season, but what you got in there early? I mean, Leeds. I didn't expect that result. I was thinking, I think everyone's looking at Leeds now, but they were on the radar. But I was happy to miss Leeds versus Chelsea. I was like, I think Chelsea will beat them pretty fucking comfortably, and I was wrong.
Yeah, look, come here. I was laying in bed, Ger, and I was pondering my moves, and I had a Rashford problem.
Yeah. Rash. You had a rash.
Yeah, I had a rash, yeah. And the chemist was closed. And I thought to myself, he's dropping. Like, he's going down now to 6.3 if I don't make my move. And I looked, and it was between Pascal Gross and Rodrigo. And I mean, it was a tight 50-50. And
well, they were the two kind of...
Yeah, they were the tipped guys. We found out. Remember, I was waffling on about Gross being on penalties, and he ended up not being on penalties. Then I think someone else took the.
Yeah, McAllister took it. I didn't know where this fucking rumor came out of. Oh, probably on penalties. That was a load of shit. I mean,
I think he did one season when he had a really good season, and I think he was on most set pieces. But
yeah, he's taken a few. I think as being a Brighton fan, FPL as or whatever he's called, he talked about him missing. Like a bunch, I think he'd missed 3 of something. I don't know. It turns out he's not a great penalty taker. So there was some decent kind of familiar Brighton fans that weren't too convinced. But yeah, that'll upset some of his owners. But he did get an assist.
Yeah, he did. So I mean, all was not lost. And I sold Rashford and he got a goal. Yeah. So but anyway, I brought Rodrigo in. And he rewarded me with 13 points. And I brought him in against Chelsea. I actually spoke about this on my little TikTok. But I'm doing TikTok FPL videos now, by the way. You can get me on TikTok at FPL Viking. Yeah, really.
Didn't forget to fucking plug that one, did you?
No, I didn't. So I'm doing them. They're on just 3 minutes long. So I spoke about that. I brought in Rodrigo against Chelsea. And I just thought, it wasn't just the Chelsea game I wanted him for. I liked the fixtures going forward. And I did speak on the Lost podcast with... yourself and Seamus, that
the podcast that never was.
What a great podcast! It was the greatest podcast we ever did, and
the greatest podcast we never did, I believe.
Yeah. So I spoke about it there, and I wanted something fun as well. Bring him in for a couple of games because remember I said Bamford was out injured and Rodrigo would be pushed up a little bit, which he was. But with Bamford back now, and I don't expect Rodrigo to lose his place.
Well, you talked about these fixtures like Brighton away this week. I don't know. Do you fancy much from that?
Well, the fixture ticker is green. So if it's green, it means that he's going to get a hat-trick. Ger, don't you know it? Don't you know how accurate that fixture ticker is?
I don't know. My fixture tickers are all blue and red. I think that's...
No, it's not an easy game. But, I mean, it's a game where he could score. If he scores against Chelsea, I think he can score against anybody in the world.
Yeah, because Chelsea are so fucking solid.
Yeah, because everyone brought in their double defence, didn't they? Their Cucurellas, their Koulibalys, and their Jameses. You know, everyone went Chelsea mad.
But don't you have James? Don't you have Chelsea defence?
But I've had James from the beginning.
Oh yeah, all 3 weeks ago. I've had him from the beginning. The fucking season's barely kicked off.
I'm not a fucking sheep, you know.
Okay, well, was that your only move this week? Guess what I did actually? I didn't even tell you this. Yeah. So I made 2 changes last week. I was sitting on 2 free transfers, and I was going, okay. You know, this is the time. This is you make your play. Do you do I like to do the mini wildcard game week 3 if the moves are right. So didn't have much fires, but I wasn't happy with double Liverpool defense, and Neto was stinking up my team. So I was like, going fuck. What do I do? Plan was a move that I think pretty much it was common amongst those people with the double transfer and double Liverpool defense was like I'll switch basically Robbo to Diaz. That was my plan. Diaz of Liverpool fame. And I made my 2 transfers. I did Robbo down to Cucurella, which you were just making fun of, and rightly so. And I did Trippier down to... I know what you're thinking. You're going, Trippier, he scored. You fucking idiot. No, Saliba. Boom. Massive fucking haul this weekend. So
Boom.
I was like, okay, grand. It only kind of probably breaks even with what, you know.
Yeah, I'm still plus.
Counting not using the transfers. But yeah, either way, my third move then, that gave me the money to turn Neto into Diaz. Yeah. And after my 2 transfers, I decided I'd sit on it a bit. I was pretty drunk. We talked about doing a Twitter Spaces last Friday.
Yes.
And I just came off work, pounded into some glasses of red wine, and then before I knew it, I was asleep on the couch. And I'd made my 2 transfers, hadn't made the third one. And when I woke up, Neto had dropped in price, which basically priced me out of the whole fucking move.
Oh.
And I can hear your dog. She knows my
pain. She knows that you don't like other noises on the podcast.
No, that was my friendly way of saying it. I actually don't hate dogs.
Yeah, well, I can't do anything about it. You know, I mean.
No, exactly. I wasn't giving you shit. No, that was supposed to be a friendly.
Just to talk about your transfers there, you actually made 8+ points from your transfers this week.
I saw that.
I just want to let you know.
Out for your league. Thanks, man. Thanks. You're always lifting me up.
You know, fair play to you. It was, and you know, going forward, they're nice players to have in.
I don't know. I'm actually instantly thinking about
maybe you'd like to still have Trippier there.
That's
like
the
a defender on set pieces.
Yeah, but I had him for his 2 lovely 7-pointers, and I didn't have him for last week. But I'm looking at Newcastle's fixtures, Paddy, and they've got Wolves away. Okay, that's a good shout at a clean sheet. But Newcastle are fucking conceding chances. I mean, Brighton should have scored against them. City scored 3 on them, which blah blah. Still 3 fucking goals conceded, and I think they didn't concede in the first game week. But like either way, Liverpool right after that in game week 5, Crystal Palace at home. That's not gonna be easy. Crystal Palace are doing well. West Ham away. I would have said that was tough. Yeah. But you know what? Like, I think you can definitely make a case for keeping Trippier if you have him and even getting him. Like, that's the thing. I am considering like maybe reversing either him or Robertson. But after that United match last night, I don't think I can go back on the double Liverpool defense. Yeah. We're kind of baiting through the talk points here, but that was my decision, Paddy. Absolute.
No, it was the right decision at the time. Like, I mean, no one can beat themselves up about these decisions. Like, you know, benching Trippier when he's playing Man City or selling Trippier when he's playing Man City. Things like getting 50-50s wrong with Andres and Neco Williams, Fulham, Brentford. Like, there's so many decisions. Bringing in Cucurella, you know, after I'm looking so good. It was kind of like a freak week, I
Yeah, I
think.
mean the Cucurella thing. Like to touch on him a little bit, I'm not.
Dirty bastard.
I'm not overly convinced in the sense of like, is he not going? I think he will. You know, I think he'll tip away. I think at 5 million the value is incredibly good.
Yeah.
But I mean, he hasn't scored a rake of goals. He will end up playing centre back when they want to give Chilwell, because Chilwell is going to get minutes. Like that's my main concern. And if that's the case, I'm going. Do I even want to be, sitting on a 5 million rotation risk, especially when it kicks into the midweek fixtures and whatnot? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I
No,
think that
I wouldn't beat yourself up, but I mean, Newcastle are actually looking really, really good as well. So, and I think, having
now I'm
sold.
on Chelsea.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was distracted there because there was the dog was barking mad again, and I was sending a little message there to tell her to shut the dog up. So apologies there for zoning out, but go back there and let me know what you're saying about Chelsea. Sorry.
None. I was just saying that you've missed it now. The moment's
Yeah, I'm
gone.
sorry.
Yeah,
I was stressing out there. Stressing out.
you don't have to worry about the dog. I mean, I'm actually surprised she's not in the room with you on the table.
Yeah, well, maybe it would be better if she was.
Yeah. So I mean, that was my decisions this week. I've fallen asleep and missing a price drop. That's pretty amateur, fucking. But at least I got a good story out of it. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's kind of win-win that way. Other talking points: blanket to back, as you so
Oh,
wish.
blank at the back. That's a big one because
Yeah.
everyone's freaking out now. But I mean, again, it's early days. We're going to Game Week 4.
But do you not like? Where are you sitting defensive right now? Like, what defense cover have you got? You double anyone?
Right. No, I don't have double anyone. I have Ramsdale in
Yeah,
nets. I have
Arsenal.
Trent Alexander, James, as you said, and I have who's my other one? Cancelo.
Yeah. So you've got like the
And
pretty
then
much like that's like the big fucking four. Cancelo, yeah, Trent. I don't know. You didn't suffer the double city. I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? That's the why people are really kind of going. Oh, like I've seen people talking about getting rid of Trent already, and I'm like, really? This is a conversation we have to have every season. Do you
yeah, I
know
mean, there's no point. I mean, I remember getting rid of Trent or and loving having that wee bit of extra coin, but there will come a
what
period.
fucking good did it do you, Petty?
Yeah, no, nothing. And there will be a period of time where you're sitting there wishing you had Trent back in your team and you can't afford him because he's gone way out of your price bracket. And Trent is going to bang.
Okay, of
He's
course
going to.
he's gonna. I mean,
So I mean,
it's just by the very nature of the way Liverpool
he's a
play.
set and forget unless he gets injured.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, but I mean, I think that applies for the likes of Cancelo. I mean, I think James is a talking point. I think 6 million.
Yeah, James could be moved
He
on.
could be, but he's 6 million, so he's not like in that same level as Cancelo and Trent and even
No.
Robertson. You have that extra bit to play with. So you saw what he did against Spurs in Game Week 2. You remember how fantastically we analysed that last week in the
Oh,
episode
it
that
was
I wrote.
amazing. It
Yeah,
was fantastic. It was probably the
the
best
greatest pod of all
analyst,
time. Yeah,
yeah, ever. I mean, like, I would like to get Perisic in my team.
yeah. You think
Yeah, I would like to get him in there. Maybe do I swap James to Perisic? But then again, I don't want. You need to have some kind of edge in your team. Not saying James is an edge or anything, but you can't
James
just
is
like
not
be
an edge.
no, and you can't just be like jumping to every player everyone else has. I mean, you want to have.
Yeah, but you talk about Perisic and like he's an intriguing option. I don't. I don't have an issue with wanting him, and I think throughout the season he's going to be, he's just guaranteed to have certain hauls. But will he just be able to maintain consistency, especially with Sessegnon there as a kind of backup? Fixtures get a
Yeah,
bit congested. I don't know. I mean, he's definitely anyone that had went in on him and played him. I think they've got to be happy with what they got.
yeah, yeah. Anyone who went in on him and held him for had the patience to hold him, after him like having cameo appearances for the first two game
Yeah,
weeks,
but
they
getting
got
as an
rewarded.
attacking returns.
Yeah, so I'm happy for them. They deserve that.
You're not. You're a fucking liar.
I fucking hate them, but I mean, I don't care because I'm buzzing off Rodrigo still.
Yeah. I mean, last week was kind of exactly what people were predicting preseason
Mm.
before it kind of became obvious that he wasn't gonna, be in the starting lineup. But they were thinking, oh, like what he can do, and he got 12 points, in 75 minutes. He got 4 points in 11 minutes. So I mean, those who like the points per minute stats, they're
Yeah,
feeling themselves right now. But yeah, fixtures going forward for Spurs looking pretty rosy. Nottingham Forest away, West Ham away, Fulham at home. I mean, yeah, I fancy Spurs for all of these.
Yeah, that would be nice. Like, I mean, at the minute, I feel like my team's kind of an autopilot. I mean, I could go into game week 4 making no changes, even though I could do James to
Yeah.
A Perisic, but I feel I'm just going to go with this because I would like to have 2 frees. I haven't had 2 free transfers yet, and I think I don't really need to touch anything. I know Rockstar made a balls of me whenever I tweeted, autopilot the same. He says, but you still have Delo.
Yeah. So
I'm quite happy to have Delo going into the next game against Southampton. I thought he was actually really good against Liverpool as well.
So for the viewers, I have your team up on screen, Paddy, and you kind of touched on it there. But why don't you talk us through,
how I got on?
How you got on?
Okay.
Yeah, so
we'll do that. I got 51 points this week. Ramsdale clean sheet, Cancelo and Trent nothing, like everybody. So not really alarming. James, 1 pointer. That was like didn't see that coming, but again, highly owned player. This one kind of hurts. Neco Williams.
Yeah.
Had a few messages and think people saying, why didn't you play Andres over Neco? Because most people would have those two as
but that was the call this week,
players.
wasn't it? That was the call.
It was a 50-50, I would believe.
Yeah, they're rare, I think. I always have some cynical view on whether 50-50 is, but as I also was burnt by it this week, I'm willing to accept that 50-50.
I mean, so there is an argument to say, would you not start the attacking player over the defensive player? But to me, Neco Williams is kind of right up there swinging balls in.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, have you seen any of the
first shots?
Yeah, he's loads of shots. His stats are good. No, I'm more than happy to take a chance on Forest. But
weren't they playing? Weren't Fulham or playing Brentford?
Yeah, home to Brentford,
who had just demolished United 4-0. And not saying that that's a great boast, but they've been playing good-looking football.
Fulham? Yeah, no, I mean...
Yeah, not Brentford.
Oh, Brentford, yeah. So going into that match, you would have been expecting Brentford to do good. But I think we saw last year inconsistency throughout Brentford's season. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes this season. But yeah, after that United result, you're thinking, oh, they're going to walk in here against promoted Fulham and smash them. And I was kind of in the same vein as you. I think Fulham had lost the week before. And I mean that's
they might have drew with Liverpool. No, did they draw with Liverpool?
They drew 0-0 with Wolves.
So
that was one where I think Mitrovic missed a penalty, and we were talking about this off air, and I was kind of saying like if Mitrovic had put that penalty away, and he'd scored this week, like there would be no stopping that kind of bandwagon that's going to happen. And I'm starting to think maybe I didn't give Fulham enough credit. I mean, if you look at their fixtures, Paddy, tough one this week away to Arsenal. Like actually their fixtures are shit. I'm looking at it now. Away to Arsenal, home to Brighton, away to Spurs, home to Chelsea, and then game week fucking 7 or 8 at Titans or it warms up against Forest.
You could argue them for the wild card swing, fixture swing, but I guess they're.
Look at you throwing out fucking technical terms like that.
But I mean, I guess Mitrovic, if you had him in for the start, fair play to you, but you're not bringing him in now.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
You know what I mean?
I was kind of, but I mean, I'm saying that anyone that did kind of go in on him, and he's a bit of a kind of a cult hero in FPL.
Yeah,
they're laughing,
But we went in on him before. I remember when they got promoted last time. Went in them, and so.
But that's why
anyway, different management,
different
tactics. He's playing better. But anyway, not to get off track. Going back to me, Neco Williams, 1 pointer from him, and we didn't even touch on that. Forest were playing Everton, and Everton hadn't been looking great. So again,
still not fucking looking great.
No, so justifying the Neco Williams pick.
Yeah, I think
not Forest playing Everton, Brentford playing Fulham. So that's that. Mattinelli 6. Well, he's like the cheat code this year so far.
So far, he's been like for that price, absolutely fucking great value.
Yeah, fantastic, and he won't be leading the team until one of your if he gets injured. Here's where it gets interesting. I've got Luis Diaz, who I'm calling an edge player for me.
Yeah.
Not everyone has him, so I'm happy to keep him. To think I was talking about selling him. Remember in our first podcast, episode 1, I was like thinking of going to Kulu. Glad that I didn't go there. Salah, 8-pointer. I was happy that he got something. being a United fan, I wanted United to win 100%. But I was also happy that Salah got some kind of return, but did not go bananas because I did not captain him.
Yeah, that was a big call.
Yeah. Um, Brought in Rodrigo, 13 points. That was the savior.
That was
That's what brought me up above average. Haaland, vice captain, 6 points, and I captain Jesus. I would do it again. I thought well, I probably wouldn't do it again, knowing that Salah got more points. But I liked the fixture. I liked what I saw. He was running the show. I mean, he looked amazing. He got an offside goal. Oh, I thought it was very tight. I mean, that people will argue. You will.
Yeah,
Right
I would
now.
argue just to stick it in your craw. But I mean, look, he was a total like that was one. It was one of those weeks where, you had kind of split captaincy decisions. Like in
Yeah.
just you, myself, and Seamus. I went Salah, you went Jesus, and Seamus went Haaland. So I mean, like,
Yeah, it was one of those weeks where you could afford to
yeah,
probably.
and no one boned anyone. Like I mean, Salah got
Ah,
his 8 pointer or whatever, and yeah, he might have
yeah.
scored 3 or 2 points more than Jesus and Haaland, but like absolutely no one got boned, and it was the perfect result as a United fan in terms of
Yeah.
from like anyone like captain like myself. It's like, oh well, I'll take United winning and Salah still getting an attack in return. Of course, I'm not a fucking idiot. But yeah, no,
Yeah, so I mean, 51 points. Andre's on the bench. Taylor nothing. Delo 1 point buried.
mm.
So yeah, I'm happy enough, and I'm not, we'll talk about Gameweek 4 later. But how did you get on, Jer? We want to know how you got on. And by the way, what's your overall rank now? Not that it like really
It doesn't
matters,
fucking matter at all. But I actually got
but
a red
still
arrow
want
this week. I dropped, I think, from 150 down to 160 or something like that. Small little red arrow. But again, I
to.
don't give a fuck at this stage.
No, I mean, and nobody should either. Like, I mean,
Yeah, and it's way
it's
too
only three
early.
weeks in.
It's so like
Yeah.
it's like there's no trends developed. There's no like, any. On Saturday night I dropped from 150 down to 400k, and I wasn't even having. And I had Saliba on the Saturday, so I wasn't even having that bad a fucking week. I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mentioned, yeah, I had Saliba. So yeah, my defense, I
Nice.
did get shafted by Ward. I'm an idiot. I've Sanchez. I mean, you
Yeah.
talked about your bench. You pretty much got your optimum team playing. You did have Andreas. I had Andreas, Sanchez, both with 8 points sitting on the bench. And
Damn.
this out of fucking left field, Stansfield for Fulham picks up an assist this week. So my 4.5 cannon fodder, he's actually after picking up an assist, and I like that's the kind of shit, you know. I like, even though I never get points from that kind of stuff. I'm like going, oh
Mm.
yeah, there we go.
So one of your big calls was the goalkeepers.
Yeah.
You started. Leicester hadn't been looking too promising
No, I mean I'm actually a little annoyed
defensively.
at myself because it was one of those decisions where I I was on Sanchez all week because I think he's in a better team, and
Yep.
then as the week kind of came to a close, I saw a few people were kind of in the same decision, and I started looking at it a bit more, and then I was thinking, you know what, like what's the point of having that 4 million player if you can't play him at home to Southampton? And like the fact that they rotated so well was definitely in my thoughts when I went with this
Yeah.
at the start of the season. So I was like, yeah, I'm going fucking Ward, and if he gets points, I'll be able to, at least justify that 4 million keeper. And yeah,
Yeah.
no, Sanchez with a nice 8 pointer, and now I'm looking at that lovely rotation between Sanchez and Ward and thinking, I don't give a fuck. I just want
Are
Sanchez.
you a believer in the rotating goalkeepers strategy?
Not
Like,
anymore.
would it be something you do in other seasons?
Not anymore. I used to always like back in the early days of it when
Yeah.
you fucking were just trying to skimp or fucking skim fucking coins from anywhere. I used to
Yeah.
I used to stick with that 4.5 rotating. I was like, I don't care. I'm having two rotating goalies. I'm spending the extra point 0.5, and that slowly just kind of eroded. I don't know what if
Do you know what? It's another decision that you don't want to be making. I think a nice set and forget
that's
goalkeeper is the way to go. I mean, who the fuck wants another decision? That's why I think this season I'm quite happy with just having Ramsdale. Although, not to be button on your team,
no.
I would rather have Saliba and have like double maybe City in there. Like I would like to like a cheap
Mm.
maybe Arsenal. I'd rather now have Saliba than Ramsdale and have a proper premium goalkeeper like an Ederson or maybe an Allison or no. I think I'd rather to have that like a you know
Yeah, I mean, like that would be something I'd be saving for wildcard season.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean Ramsdale, you can't really, especially if you were going up to premium. I don't think you could. You just have that's one of those beds that you make in FPL.
Yeah, it's not a fire.
Yeah, it's not a fire. You just lie in it. I mean,
Yeah.
you did talk about Rockstar giving you shit about a lot, and I do think even if United did look decent against Liverpool, that is something I would be looking to
Yeah,
change.
and it certainly is, and that's probably one of the reasons why I'm saving the transfer.
Yeah.
To fix that.
And I think that's a very mature decision, and I believe in my heart and my soul that by the end of this week you'll have used that transfer.
Probably.
That's the honest to God truth. I do not believe for a
probably
second.
Rodrigo back to Rashford.
Do you remember that scene in Trainspotting when they lock a guy in a room, when they lock your man in the room to kind of detox?
Oh yeah.
That's how I'd imagine you would react if you.
And he's getting like the fucking DTS.
Yeah, he's DTS. He's shivering. He's fucking hallucinating.
Yeah. He shits the bed.
Yeah, I mean, we'd all shit the bed. But getting back to the meat of the team, yeah, as I said, I can wax lyrical about Saliba all week. Kind of saved my game week from being utterly shit into somewhat okay. I got the Salah return, Haaland return, Jesus, nothing spectacular.
Lovely.
But yeah, I got boned by the Williams Ward over Sanchez Andreas decision, and Kulusevski did jack all against Wolves, which I won't say I was utterly shocked. I was expecting a low scoring game, if I'm being honest. I was expecting like 1-0 Spurs. But you can't really complain.
It was still scary for non-Spurs owners.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like shitting myself not having any coverage for that game.
Kane, but he fucking delivered. Like, we didn't really touch on him much because I think when he's not in your team, you tend to not. But yeah. Is he a force to be reckoned with now?
I mean, at the minute, he's definitely like, it's either Kane or Haaland, isn't it? It's Kane versus Haaland. I mean, there's a couple of teams that have maybe two of them, but
it's been Kane versus Haaland since the start of the season. But like, Kane away to Nottingham Forest, away to West Ham, and home to Fulham in the next three.
Yeah, you're not getting rid of him.
You're not getting rid of him if you have him. And
I mean, and Haaland away to Palace,
home to Palace,
Forest. Well, sorry, home to Palace, home to Forest, away to Villa. Next three.
Yeah, like maybe we just wildcard and just go with the two of them. Is that it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then, like, you'll be really... No, I'm just going to stay with the 4-4-2, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm taking the piss. I mean, I'm actually thinking I will also roll a transfer this week. Like, if I don't completely go backwards on what I did last week by either getting Robertson or Cucurella back or Trippier back in, then I might just roll. Because I think the rest of it... Like, I have Kulusevski. He's kind of my differential, and we just talked about Spurs fixtures, and I'm happy to fucking see how it plays out. We've got game week 5 starting in, I believe,
Tuesday.
On the Tuesday.
So there's not much rest from. So we don't even have long to wait to get your double transfers.
No, but my point is just that like it's also worth bearing in mind with transfers is that. I know it's early in the season, but like who's gonna maybe not play that game week 5 quick turnaround? Like, is Haaland
City players?
You saw Pep today, I think, or was it? I can't remember who said it, but the quote came out that, essentially, we're going to rest Haaland, which we knew beforehand. They kind of agreed that deal, but like, we're going to be happy to rest Haaland if we're playing, 3 fixtures in a week or.
Yeah, I actually dove into that wee bit of interview, and I think somewhere along that. He mentioned like cups, and then someone just ran with he will be rotated, obviously,
of course,
but I mean, he did say I think something like with certain cups and things or something like that. He'll be rested. And,
well, speaking of cups, there's only one cup that I think people care about, and that's the cup that you win the FPL Hangover podcast announces you champion at the end of the season. And I think by cup, of course, I mean Hip Flask. And
yes,
of
course.
I really need to kind of have some kind of picture lying around that I can show. But mini league time, I think, baby.
Oh yeah, I love it. So we'll straight into the mini league then. No kissing.
Why the fuck?
We've got the top 10. We've got number 1 new league leader.
Okay.
Peter Scullion. Peter Scullion is the new league leader. He was second last week. He's moved up ahead of David Grant, who's dropped down to second. Peter Scullion, 219 points. An overall rank of 19k. Well done, Peter. Not bad for a casual. We've got John Ruddy in third. No change. Well, actually, sorry, John Ruddy joined second with Grant, 214 each. Brian says Andrew from the Renegades.
What did you say? Joined second? Are they not slipping Jimmy's little? Is that?
Well, they both
Better
have the
Call
same
Saul
points.
reference?
Like they're both 214 points.
No, 219. Slipping Jimmy's is 219. Total points. I'm looking at it here in front of me. What the
Peter
fuck are you? What horse and fucking pony show have you got going on over there?
Wait, hold on a fucking second here, right?
I'm looking at it on the screen.
Peter Scullion is number 1, right?
Yeah.
And David Grant is number 2.
Yes, but you said they both got 214. One's got 219. And
John Ruddy's third.
Oh my god! So you were talking about 2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3.
It's grand. I'll edit this all out. I'll make myself sound like an absolute champion.
Yeah, well, fuck you. Brian says has got on 4th. Andrew is in 5th. Mario Greco 6th. Emil Sidelike 7th. Gerson Coelho 8th. You are in 9th. Ger, well done.
Suck on that.
Ken Corbally is in 10th. And there you go. That's the top 10 for the FPL Hangover podcast. Will we check out to see who the bench wankers are?
Yeah, I love hearing that shit.
Yeah, I always love hearing who's the bench wanker. Oh my God, Trevor Gordon.
Oh, this
Trevor
is
our mate.
Haps, yeah.
Yeah. Guess how many points he had on his bench?
24.
26 fucking points. Oh my God. We also have Rahib Sharaher, 25.
Okay.
Pooja Pandey, 24. Dara Kern, we all know him, 24. And that's and yourself, 23 points you had in the bench.
Yeah, a lot of fucking points in the bench. Yeah.
Holy fuck. Stephen Scully, 22 points in the bench. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Transfer genius. This is my favorite part of mini leagues. So seeing who got the right call. So we need to talk about Charles Byrne. Charles Byrne made 3 transfers.
Okay.
So he took a -4, and he netted himself 18 points from that -4. He got rid of Bailey, Robertson, and Archer.
Okay.
And he brought in Andreas, Perisic, and Tony.
Interesting, yeah. I like those kind of...
Very nice.
That's like what that reeks of, you've
Just
basically...
balls.
No, reeks of balls. No, I just mean it doesn't fucking reeks of balls. It's the absolute opposite. It's like, I'm now doing a bit of housekeeping with my team. I've done the start of the season. Like, I got to fix it.
There was a bit of balls there too, like getting rid of Robertson and all.
I got rid of Robertson. I don't think it's balls. I think it's an easy way to make some fucking money, and it sounds to me like getting in Pereira isn't ballsy. I mean, Perisic, you could argue, was a bit of a rotation risk. My point was, I like it. It's a solid fucking... Okay.
Well, yeah, I wasn't saying... I didn't mean like testicles. It reeked to testicles. But anyway, Mario Greco, a special mention. He netted 16 points from 2 transfers. Robertson to Saliba and Bailey to Gundogan. And I'm just going to call out the third guy because his name is FIFA 2021. Like, so he doesn't... like. This usually shows people's real names, and then they have their FPL team name. So his real name is FIFA 2021.
I respect it.
So, yeah, me too. He made 1 transfer and he made 15 points. How can you not respect that? He got rid of Coutinho for Odegaard. So
boom, yeah, Odegaard coming good this week. We didn't really touch on that, but I mean, like, it's Arsenal are at the moment just a plethora of options.
Yeah,
I think Odegaard's going to prove to be a bit of value throughout the season. But sorry, go on with your. These stats.
We had a couple of bench boosts with Richard Everson, who's FPL dad, friend of the show, friend of us. He done, his bench boost was pretty impressive. I saw that. We also had Sheehan McGuave, who used a bench boost, and he also made 4 transfers. Was
shit, just for the record, but go on.
He made like 16 points on his bench boost.
Couldn't give a crap. Waste of it. Lazy.
Shit. Well, Sheehan, this is an interesting one from Shane McGuane. McGuane, right? Do you know him?
I think so.
Right, okay. You dick so?
I think so, you fucking idiot.
Right. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So Shane McGowan, right, made 4 transfers, incurred a -12, right?
Oh, I saw
Net
this guy. Yes.
net transfers -14 points. That's what he made from his -12. And not only did he do he thought then that he would use a bench boost as well. So I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. But anyway, Trent
I'll cover
Alexander went out
myself. I cover my -12 by playing my bench boost. I like it. I like that tactic. It's like
well,
this could cover the -12.
You're thinking, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta love these casuals. Trent Alexander to Shar, Allison to Pope, and Johnson to Mitrovic. So that was I don't know what his 4th transfer is, not showing it. Must be so bad. But there you go. I think, am I missing anything from this?
I don't know. You're
Yeah,
the
well,
man with all the stats, but I think you
right,
covered everything, bro.
one more. The highest riser in the league.
Okay.
So the guy that jumped up there most is Jamie Curley, who went up 63 places, and he now sits in 96th spot.
So he
and
sits
also,
in 96.
Yeah.
Finally starting to get his shit together so for the season.
Yeah, he is. He's going right up there. And the Chieftain.
How's he getting
He's
on?
right up there too. He went up 63 places as well. Probably brought in a load of Spurs players.
Why wouldn't you? They've got decent fixtures and playing.
Yeah,
well.
I think his transfer was Rashford to Martinelli anyway. And the biggest drop is Rahib, -53 places. And Cal Byrne, FPL Crypto, dropped 47 places. So there you have it. That's the Hangover Mini League updates.
Paddy, you have outdone yourself once again. Anyone that is looking to join such a fantastic mini league as ours, you can use the code PK3DFT. PK3DFT. It's going to be on the YouTube thing, and I might have had it written into the description. That's the kind of professionalism I strive to achieve someday. But yeah, so feel free to join. We're going to be doing some giveaways and prizes and, you know, the usual bullshit throughout the season. So yeah, thanks for that, Paddy. I guess before we start looking too closely at next week, it might be a chance to open up the drunk tank.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, there we go. So you took the reins this week out of nowhere, which I fucking love you for, and you stuck the tweet out, and we got a couple of decent questions, some interesting ones. I didn't have a lot of time to think about them.
Yeah,
you know,
well, I only stuck this up like
more
about 20 minutes before we were due to go on.
It's more it's more than I did. So yeah, no, I was happy. I'm like, okay, great. So first up this week we got a regular and friend of the show, Nuclear Atoms at FPL_Atoms. He asks, even though Liverpool are looking a bit lackluster in attack, is Salah still a better captaincy pick than Jesus' side? Jesus, whose side are amazing in attack. So basically, he's brought it straight up to captaincies for next week, and we were going to do it after the drunk tank, but I didn't read the questions and prepare properly, so I guess we'll do it now.
Well, there's no better time than the present.
Who are you looking at next week for captaincy? Who's your bus armband on?
It's on Salah.
It's on Salah.
It's 100% on Salah, and it's set in stone.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the fixtures, Salah is at home to Bournemouth. I mean, that's everyone's licking their lips at that. Haaland, I guess, you know, you could make the case for him just as easy. Home to Crystal Palace, and then everyone's favorite, home to Fulham. This is going to be another fucking week, isn't it? Where everyone.
Yeah, it's another one where you could, you know, if you want to try and be brave and make a few gains. I mean, but it's like this.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to concede the least amount of goals out of Fulham, Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace?
Crystal Palace?
I think so too. I think Crystal Palace, I've liked the look of them under Vieira at times. And Bournemouth didn't look in any great shape against City, so I'd expect Liverpool to be able to give them, you know, a similar test. And then Fulham, they're kind of the wild card, aren't they? Which I guess is the heart of Nuclear's question. Like, do you go with man on form Jesus, or do you, you know, go with the old reliable Liverpool? You're saying old reliable.
Well,
My bus
knows.
captain is also Salah. I'm not.
Yeah, look, it's Salah, midfielder, the extra point, the extra clean sheet point. It's everything's Salah. Crystal Palace look like they're decent under Vieira. They've got an identity. They're playing good football. You know, Jesus, Fulham. That you could argue it's an alright captaincy shout, but I mean, it's Salah versus Bournemouth this week.
Yeah, but it's also a very downtrodden Liverpool team versus very up there and delighted with themselves Arsenal. And I mean, I think for me, I don't know what it says about the gambler in me, but I like to root for the team on the upswing in the sense of like, oh, can Liverpool turn it around? And will it all go tits up for Arsenal? Is this going to be the week that everyone goes, yep, there we go, that's the team? So I'm always looking for that. And with the Arsenal, I'm just waiting for them to collapse. So maybe it's ultimately just...
Well, you're waiting for... That's very good. So we could say you're waiting for Arsenal to collapse, but you're also waiting for Liverpool to explode.
Yeah.
And they haven't won a game.
No, they haven't.
They haven't won a game.
They're getting relegated.
They're going down. They're going down. Like, so this is the game to save their season.
Yeah.
If I'm Klopp, and Klopp's in there and he's like, these lads are getting fucking relegated if you don't win this game.
Yeah.
He's in there, I've ran out of excuses. We ran out of time against United.
He is an endless...
they ran out of time against United. Like, the game stopped. But, I mean, Salah is the captain this week. I mean, there's no point trying anything else. It's Salah.
Okay, fair enough. I respect your determination and steely good looks. Next up, we have FPL Hints, friend of the show as well, who jumped on last year. Hope to maybe get him back on this year. Has the template run its course, or should we be more patient? Interesting question.
A very good question, and it's a lot of people are talking about it, but like without, of course it hasn't run its course. We're only 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
The template's very strong. I mean, it's not very strong. I mean, there's people saying the template, should we move off the template and all this, but it's far too early. It's far too early, I think.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but I don't think the template ever goes away. Isn't that what template means?
Nah. Yeah, exactly. It's there. And I think...
Yeah, I mean, moving off the template means you're just moving to probably the next template. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, how do you... Unless you go completely, like, oh, I'm not having anyone that's highly owned, which you could, I suppose, say, but I don't think that's what Ash is referring to. I think he just means moving away from this batch of players that everyone has.
He knows the shit. He's like, should we move off like a couple of maybe
he does, but
players?
What makes that question interesting is particularly because it's from Ash, and I've seen him talk, and he does this thing where he shares like this specific amount of players and the effective ownership of those, and you often look at it and go, oh, actually there isn't that many people who have all three. Do you know that kind of way? And that's how I've always felt. I'm going, I quite look at, so I'm surprised to, but I guess that's in his mind. Do you know that kind of way? And to me, I just don't think you can ever avoid a template. You should look at it more just, the players who are going to get the most points. That's the way I look at it. Like, just you try to think better than I think about who's going to get the most points. I don't think I wouldn't think about templates things too much.
Yeah, I think it's. I'd say I'd have more patience then to answer that question. And just before we move on to the next question, Ash has now started a YouTube channel.
Oh,
so I
Did he say, "Here's a question"?
Yes, this is a hashtag ad.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck's sake!
This is how I got him to ask the question. So I said I'd plug his YouTube. So he's on YouTube, and you can ask him questions over there as well. So there you go, Ash. Fuck the South. And what next question?
Next question. We've got FPL Dave, that's @claps_mug. He asks, Haaland to Kane, the elite move this week. Now, obviously, tongue-in-cheek, but we did kind of talk about Haaland and Kane already. I mean, not at all, as far as I'm concerned. And I think like he's taking the piss, which I appreciate. But there is going to be people that genuinely ask that question. Do you know, Haaland... look at what Kane got versus look at what Haaland's got. I don't know. It's not really a question, as far as I'm concerned.
You know, Dave's sitting there watching the Aussie Bake Off, and he's just, he's thought he'll throw in another question. He probably has Kane already,
He's trying to justify
he's just giving himself a wee rub. But I mean, no, you're not making any moves unless you have to this week.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple more.
Dave's got a nice car,
Oh, does he?
What,
do you want to elaborate, or just?
It's like it's a Mazda 323.
Oh, okay. It's got numbers in it.
Yeah, it's a wee hairdresser car, but he looks after it.
Yeah, fair enough. He's a car guy.
Yeah, he is.
Well, if he's got Kane over Haaland, he's probably not an FPL guy. But what's more important? FP triple dots ellipsis never mind laughy face. That's from Stevie.
Oh
FPL.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Okay?
I don't understand this one.
So Holly Shams came out yesterday, okay, and she said something. I hope this is a repeat of last year's screenshot. Manchester United getting beat 4-0 by Liverpool.
Okay.
So then Harry FPL Tips wrote straight under it, "Aren't you a United fan?"
Okay.
Laughy emoji.
Wow.
Which Holly replied, "FPL always first."
Yeah.
Which set the Twittersphere into fucking meltdown.
FPL fans versus
so
hardcore football fans.
So basically then it was deleted.
Oh, she deleted.
Everything was deleted. So, but you can't delete a screenshot, and they were everywhere. So, in Holly's defense, right?
Yeah.
I want to say first of all, it's not FPL over football for me.
Fair enough. But you just started it with in Holly's defense. Go on.
Never will be. But I need to
qualify this in case people rope me in with this. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. But in Holly's defense, she works like fancy football is her full-time job. Okay, that's fine. She probably regrets tweeting that, like, because
she deleted the fucking thing.
Yeah, But anyway, that's fine. I wouldn't call her a Manchester United fan.
Okay, but what's her defense? You said you're going to defend her, and then she just wants to move on. She wants to
move on past it. But look, I mean, she works with fantasy football. Like, that's fine, cool. But then Steve here jumped on, and he's a United fan.
Okay, so
and he said, "I support Holly. Basically, if Man United were going to win the league or whatever, and I had £3,000 in my mini league, I'd rather £3,000 because Man United winning the fucking league or their game wouldn't change my life."
Okay, well, Steve sounds like, is he a United fan?
Well, so he says, yeah.
Okay, so
and then he continued. He had a little slog with a couple of.
Well, he sounds like a shitstar, so I wouldn't fucking worry about that.
Nah, but Steve is a great guy. I know him well. Met him he's the first person I met when I went to the Gameweek 39 and stuff. And lovely. Yeah, I know. Friends. Love the guy. Really nice, and we had good banter and good chats. And Steve and
I don't know the guy, and I don't. Give a shit.
Okay, so so here we go. Okay, so Steve. Then I seen a couple of tweets where he was in a bit of wars with a couple of people, and
so
he was like,
so straight away, my shitster, call doesn't sound too off.
No, but he was deadly serious. He was deadly serious about this. Like, he said that he'd rather have the money, but he also was arguing then with a couple of people saying that, half these people saying that have never been to United game, which then I saw and I was like, you can't really say that. You can be a supporter of a club without having to travel and go to every single game, because there's a lot of people that support their team.
Yeah, you and me live in fucking Ireland. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so we
exactly.
have to believe that.
I was like, don't know about that.
I still also think though that it's mildly different when you're not supporting your local team. Do you know? But I guess that's a different argument. But
I have family that's supported United all their life, actually. So I'm a big United fan. I'm a season ticket holder. I try to get to his not over COVID and stuff. Yeah.
So we could raffle those off to something.
Maybe we
never
could.
mentioned this to me before, you bollocks.
Yeah, well, there you go. So I am a season ticket holder, and
I don't think.
No, But anyway,
I don't
look.
think you're a season ticket holder. I think you're full
I
of
am,
shit.
because I have my tickets right here.
I think you're full of shit.
Well,
don't put anything personal on the internet, just in case you're about to share something.
There you go.
Oh, don't be. You're covering up with your. It's black. It's
Oh
a black
shit.
screen. I knew it. You're full of shit.
Anyway,
You're full of shit.
anyway.
Go on anyway. Go on before I move on to the next fucking question. An actual question.
So there it is. There's my ticket. And anyway, but no, in defense of Steve, I think that that's fair enough. Like, I mean, if there was a nothing game and you had like 3,000 quid riding on the last game of the season, United weren't going to win nothing. They weren't going to qualify the Champions League or whatever.
But are you qualifying all this, or did he qualify that in the statement?
He started saying that as well, yeah. So
yeah, whatever. Sounds like back.
But anyway, FPL or your team, like, what do you pick?
Well, I mean, I think for me it's my team, but only because I grew up watching United. There's lots of people that play the game that don't follow a football team that are literally playing the game because they like the game. Do you know? Yeah. They might like other sports, but football was never their fucking thing. And but it's easy to follow this without actually being a fucking football fan. I know because my ex-girlfriend has won the goddamn mini league. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, for me, I've seen people just aren't football fans at all get really into this game. I don't know if that's what Shand is, but
well, Steve's argument was United winning the league won't change my life, but me winning my mini league, say $3,000, will take me and my family on holiday. So that was kind of fair.
Yeah, no, I mean I get it. That's a
So
it's a realistic.
That was his point.
Yeah, no, 100%, and that is that's just down to different tastes, the kind of way I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I completely can see both sides of the coin there. But let's move on to I think it's our final question. And it's an interesting one. This is from another friend of the show, FPL Renegades, Drew, who's in the top 10 of the Hangover Mini League at the moment. But he asks another kind of, I suppose, FPL community-based question where it's kind of like bigger picture shit. Is the moaning regarding prices being too low a bit over the top? You can build a super team, but so can everyone else. You won't get top 10,000 by having the same super team as everyone else, and teams will diverge. And then he asks, also, are content creators particularly moaning about it as it forces them to be creative? So, as someone who doesn't create content, Paddy, what do you think?
I think half these people fucking crying about this game being too easy aren't even inside the top 200k.
What the fuck does that mean? We just talked about overall rank not mean anything.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, all these people that are saying the game's too easy, the players are too cheap. If it's too easy and you have all these fucking super players that are too cheap,
but
how come you aren't fucking flying up already 3 weeks in? Like, give it a chance.
I guess.
I think.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and what he's saying with content creation, yes, it's probably like it'd be harder to create content when there's nothing to do. Like, look at this game week we're going into. Is there anything to do? Just Captain Salah.
Yeah, but that's not the game's too easy. I mean, that's just Salah's
that's
too
what
fucking
I mean.
good. I mean, if anything, you could argue that this week, it shows how But I mean, this is a bit of a weird example because all the three kind of heavy attacking forces at the moment have decent fixtures. But yeah, no. So are you saying do you think that the price, that it is too easy? Or are you saying it isn't too easy?
I'm saying is I couldn't give a fuck what the prices are at, really. Like, do you know what I mean? I know there's people out there that are like, oh, Jesus was a cheat, is far too, cheap, and and blah blah blah, and yeah, okay, they're complaining, but like, where are they not happy with their rank at the minute? Are they moving up? Are they static? So
you think
why are they complaining?
It depends on how you're doing, where you come down on that side of things, whether it's easy or not.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I think like I was the same as you. I read this question just before we went on, and I was thinking, like, my initial thoughts were same. I was like, well, it's not. What do you mean too easy? Like, it's all about the finer margins anyway. It is a bit more.
It always is.
Yeah, and that was my initial kind of. That's what my heart says, But then I started thinking about when I created like fan team this year and hashtag not an ad. I just did one team and fan team, and I did a Sky team, and they were the only two things outside of FPL. So for fan team, I decided like I do it, and the day before the game we kicked off, and I logged on, stuck on the few pound, and then boom. The prices were so much more difficult. And I remember sitting there and thinking to myself, oh, this is what it used to be like. Do you know, where I had to think about like I mentioned at the start of the show, where you're kind of skimping and you're trying to see where you can save here and can you get this cheap, because you can't afford a lot of people in fan team. It's all about like, it's really, I thought it was really fucking hard pricing wise. You know, like 4.5 defenders were a must have because you couldn't get the premiums. Do you know that kind of way? And then you were trying to balance it out elsewhere. And it reminded me of what it was like 5-6 years ago. At least it's probably 10 years ago now, and I'm just, forgot how fucking old I am. But yeah, that initial feeling of actually struggling to get a team you were happy with, and I don't think I felt that this year.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, well, you could get a team together.
I could get multiple teams together.
We were kind of being greedy. We wanted to have 4 premiums. You can nearly get them.
Yeah.
But come here, like, I was looking at a screenshot. David De Gea used to be like 6.5 million or 7 million or something. So I mean, like,
yeah,
I think they've priced the goalkeepers fair enough.
The goalkeepers are fine, but the goalkeepers are actually an interesting. This should all have been fucking preseason stuff, but the goalkeepers are an interesting shout this year because they have reduced premium goalkeepers. But I'm happy with that because it lets people use up as what I would consider a shitty spot with extra funds, which I know you're talking about going.
I'm nearly wanting to move up.
I get it. I get the Craven's always there. I think it's too boring for me. Like maybe at the end of the season, if you've loads of squad value and you generally don't need to squeeze it, but right now I'm still like, I'll treat that goalkeeper position as dirt cheap and get me a nice little punt. I've always liked a punty goalkeeper, not a silly punt, but like a fucking
like a Ward.
Yeah, well, a Ward was 4 million. Like, I'll stand by Ward all season.
Yeah,
it's the ones that did Ward and Iverson, the ones that did the 8 million. That was the preseason question. Was, are you going to actually really go this bottom of the barrel shit here and put all your hopes in Leicester? And I don't blame him. I think it was completely, like, I would have just been worried that some other goalkeeper signs and you look like a fool and you have to waste the transfer. So that kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I agree. But, at the end of the day, we've all got these really simple, right, let's just say we've all got these easy teams to build teams, all these cheap players and all blah, blah. But we still made the fucking stupid decisions and the 50-50s. Like,
that's the thing.
Andreas Neco Williams. Yeah. There you go. And I've got a template team. So there you go. It's all going to be about your decision making with your captaincy and whatever. So that's where you're going to make your grind up.
Yeah.
Your 50-50 is your captaincy. So I mean, it's still the same game.
Yeah, and just to touch on the end of that, where it's like also our content creators particularly moaning about it as it forces them to be creative. Like, it's an interesting addition to the question. I mean, it depends on how you define a content creator. Like, is a Twitter account a content creator? Lots of people would say it is, and if that's the case, then like, just being moany helps. It doesn't matter if that's what you really believe or not, because I do genuinely think that there's an element of psychopathy to social media, and you can just be happy with posting something that's negative just because it'll get interaction. So I mean, that's where I lie on it in terms of if that's how you define a content creator. In regards to like more serious kind of longer forms of content like videos and YouTube and stuff like that, I don't know, are they moaning? Maybe they're not moaning. Like, I know I don't have fucking time to moan because there's always something going wrong. So I would like to consider that I digest quite a lot of fucking content, and the serious people are not moaning about it being too easy. They've just moved on with that.
Yeah.
And stuff. And yeah, so
just like us, we're serious people. Like we're not moaning. Are we moaning?
No, I'm happy. Shit. Yeah. Just about your fucking dog barking the whole.
Yeah. Well, sorry about the dog. The dog. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking sort the dog out.
Yeah. But I think that wraps up the drunk tank for this week. So thanks to everyone that got involved, and anyone that wants to reach out to us and ask a question. We'll touch on it at the end of the show, but Twitter, YouTube, throw a comment somewhere. You know how to find us at this stage. But yeah, thanks for all of that. Before we go, now we did touch on the captains, so we don't need to do that anymore, but we have one more thing. And another blast from the past. It's a return. Now, we did actually return this last week, just to preface all this.
And the greatest pod ever.
The greatest podcast never heard. That did actually get a big introduction and stuff. But for this week, I would just like everyone to stand back, put your hands together, and welcome Puck Fathers to the stage. And if I had the time, I would create some kind of intro video.
Yeah, cool music or something.
Yeah, something cool. But in reality, I will just describe. And to those, long-time listeners, you'll know what puck fadas are. There are long shots. And we used to do them every week. And we decided we're going to bring them back this year because we need more segments to pad out the 60-minute runtime. And Paddy's an avid gambler. And he wanted to get involved. As soon as I mentioned random 1-week punts and charity, he said, "Sign me up."
Oh, yeah.
You had
me
at random. Yeah. So puck fod is basically we're gonna pick one player every week. Myself, Seamus, and Paddy, who are 5% or less owned, and keep a track all season of who scores the points, and the person who gets the most points gets to pick a charity that myself and Podrick will donate. I'm already assuming Seamus is going to win. He's kind of a psycho or like a robot in terms of that. But yeah, the other two will donate to that. So it's basically just a fun little thing between ourselves. And if you want to get involved, let us know what your puck fathers would be. Throw them in the comment section. Text it on to us. Whatever.
We want them to get involved. I want to see how many people I can beat with my puck fodder. Just like I think on the podcast that never happened, I picked a puck fodder, and I think I won the round. Do you want to tell the people who we picked last week? It's already started.
For game week, it has already started, and we are recording these. For game week 3, Paddy's puck fodder was Gundogan, and he duly delivered with an 8-point return. So that's put Paddy in a nice little lead, as myself and Seamus, who went with Vardy and Mbumo, both blanked. So yeah, 8 points to Paddy and myself and Big Mac trailing with 2. So this week, though, let's see if you can
make it 2-0.
Make it 2 in a row. And I know you've changed it up. You haven't gone down the same route. Tell us who your pick is this week.
My pick this week is Bernardo Silva from Manchester City with a ownership of 4.9%. And for anyone who doesn't know, the puck fodder has to be below 5% ownership. Is that correct?
Yeah, below 5 or below.
5 or below. Mm-hmm. So 4.9 for Bernardo. And my reasons I'm going for Bernardo are Game Week 1, 12 minutes. Game Week 2, 25 minutes. Game Week 3, 90 minutes, 13 points. He's back and he's raring to go.
So you're saying because his minutes have risen,
I think he's not going to Barca now by the looks of things.
You could also look at that. He's had 2 sub appearances and only 1 start.
Yes.
I'm joking. I'm just saying.
He's my puck fodder.
He's your puck fodder, and he'll be to the end. No, I think it's a good pick. I am going to give you shit for sticking with City twice. I'm like, kind of a cheap shot. I left you off last week with it. But I mean, it's about
5% ownership.
Yeah, I get you.
I'm not breaking no fucking rules here.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I remember that. My pick this week is he's someone I'm looking to get in. Everyone, you went Rodrigo this week, and I think that's completely good shout. But I'm looking at maybe saving a bit more money and going with 5.5 Brendan Aronson for Leeds.
Very nice pick.
Yeah, while my head says Brighton will beat Leeds this week, my cynical brain, the cynical part of my head thinks that Aronson will score, and that'll just mean everyone's going to be jumping on him in time for the really nice run of fixtures. So that's how I'm viewing this week. Aronson is my pick, and Seamus has actually
see that
he sent in his pick, which I wasn't expecting, but a black van turned at the door. A lad jumped out, walked up to me very seriously, and handed me a brown envelope. And I then
it's your electricity bill.
It's actually the TV license man. The TV license man. Fuck. He got me. But Seamus' pick. You have it there, Paddy. What is it?
It is, and the winner is Alvarez.
Yeah, I mean, interesting shout. I like it. That's a nice puck fodder, Paddy. Something that's a bit of a swing.
Is it though?
Well, why? What's your thoughts? You think Alvarez doesn't start? He doesn't meet your
he's
criteria?
Definitely not starting. Like,
how do you figure?
Because that's Haaland's spot.
You sound like a fucking child.
Yeah,
that's Haaland's spot. No, I'm not having it.
Yeah, it's just. Well, do you think that Alvarez is going to get more points than our puck fadas?
Well, I mean, look, he had 12 minutes and then 16 minutes. So by your logic, he's due a start at some stage. You know? I'm
That's
joking.
a terrible logic.
It is terrible. No, but I am also omitting the fact that he didn't play at all against Newcastle. I think it's an interesting shout. I think with that midweek fixture that we touched on coming up soon, maybe Pep wants to play Haaland at home to Nottingham Forest and not Crystal Palace. Like, I don't know what way the rotation is, but I would be surprised if he doesn't get some minutes this week. And
I'd
it is
be
a nice
like,
fixture.
fuck rotation. Liverpool are getting beat left, right, and centre. We need to get every point on the board. Haaland's the man. Foden, start passing it into Haaland. Stop your little fucking stupid shots. You're doing me nothing. Square those balls over to Haaland. Haaland is going to start. He ain't getting dropped.
Did you start the season with Haaland?
No, Kane.
Oh, there we go. Go away, you casual. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck you, man.
But there we have the picks. We have Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez. So the two of you going with City, and the only one with an actual puck fada is myself with new boy Aronson on the horizon. Sorry, Paddy, that's the way the land lies.
I gave you that puck fada.
You did in your bollocks.
I did off air. I says Aronson's a good shout.
Did you?
So
Maybe you genuinely could have, and that's the only reason. Because I realized halfway through the segment that I didn't have one picked. I was like, fuck.
So I have two puck fadas in this one. But no, I love the puck fada. I love the charity thing behind it. I really want to see some more puck fadas in the comments. Yeah. I want to see them. Like,
you need to get on all the social medias, Paddy, and do your thing. Do your thing. Do your puck fada thing. That can be your new dip.
I like that. Before we go, because I think we're near the end, a game week 4 quick recap. The captaincy salad's nailed, isn't it?
It's nailed. We've done it. Yeah, we're there.
Where we're kind of saying it's kind of like autopilot. I mean, unless you've like got an extreme fire to burn.
Yeah.
The fixtures are good. Like I assume everyone has the usual suspects of City, Liverpool, Chelsea, even their Leeds and Arsenal. Like, and all the fixtures look tasty.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that like we're coming up to that, like it's game week 4 now, and we're like what, halfway to that kind of fixture swing / maybe the area you want to be using your wild card. So if you did want to Drew's point, kind of, or not to Drew's point, but to Ash's point of move away from the template, it's going to be pretty easy to fix in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, that's the way I'm looking at it. If you did, like, it's easy to roll this week. There's a lot of the strong teams have nice fixtures, but if you did want to take a fucking punt, I wouldn't let that, anything put you off.
Exactly. And just a quick reminder, game week 4 starts on Saturday at is it 11 o'clock deadline?
Yeah, Man United, aren't they, this week?
Yeah, United and Southampton, but it's Saturday and Sunday. It's a full game week fixtures, and game week 5 starts then on Tuesday, which gives you a very small window to get your transfers made. So you've got Monday basically to sort your shit out, and then the Tuesday. Well, you've got all day Tuesday. Tuesday, 6 o'clock deadline Tuesday.
That's a good public service, and
I think so.
I appreciate them. I do. Yeah. And it just goes to show how much you've grown as an FPL player, Paddy. That shit is sticking with you.
Yeah, it's I'm born with it.
They grow up so fast. But where can people find you, Padraig?
I love this. But you can get me on Twitter at @FPLViking_. You can get our Instagram, the last orders on Instagram, and you can get me on TikTok at @FPLViking_. Same as my Twitter. I'm doing a little 3-minute just recaps and shit on that. So get over there, follow it all. You can get us where, Ger?
You can get us at the usual spots. That's at FPL Hangover on Twitter. You can also reach out to us via email at fplhangover@gmail.com if you wish to do so. As I said, the mini league is there, PK3 DFT. Get into that especially if you've gotten this far into it. Fair fucks to you. And if you have gotten this far, that must mean we haven't bored the fuck out of you. So please subscribe, all the usual jazz. I will leave everyone now. Paddy, we're looking at game week 4 next week, and then just before game week 5. So I suppose we are going to get one in real quick before game week 5 kicks off. Because, I mean, I don't want to be doing it mid-game week, and we'll fucking see. We'll be back next week.
We might do something Monday. Not like a pod or anything, but we might jump on somewhere spaces or do some shit like.
And if we don't do it Monday and we have to do it Tuesday, maybe we do something special.
Yeah,
like
we could do some
stream or something. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
We'll make it interesting. I mean, things are about to get kind of wacky this year with the World Cup and mid-game weeks and stuff. A lot earlier than usual. So, yeah, we'll wing it. We'll be around if I don't fuck up the recording. And, yeah, enjoy your Game Week 4, everybody. Paddy, best of luck to you. And you're not using a transfer?
Not. No.
Excellent.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and to everyone else, God bless.
Good luck.